Yo, yes, God bless. It's you are tuned in to Hoodcenter, right? I got Ahmad here. We got South Philly in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we are doing something different. You know, the podcast for the basketball vibes and so forth and so on. And I told everybody that I was going to give them an opportunity and give them an interview for free. He's telling you, look, Mike got the, I'm telling them to I'm giving you an interview for free. My name is Young Tres. I got Ahmad here from South Philly. Ahmad is an artist. I just bought some Air Force Ones. We're going to do an interview. And then when we go outside, my man going to do his thing and present his craft and paint the sneakers. So we're going to get right into the interview, man. God bless. You know that. Ahmad, what's the vibes, man?
Man, crazy day.
I hear you.
I'm definitely happy to be here, man.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate what you're doing for me, reaching out to me and
yes, sir,
getting this opportunity.
Yeah, shout out to my dog Rich. Actually put me onto your work. And I seen some sneakers you did that was different. I was just like, yo, I gotta hit homie up, see what the vibe is, because that's different. You brought me back to the Mace era when he was with the Welcome Back video.
Okay.
When he, you know what I mean, you know them kicks, you
definitely
remember them forces.
About that. Yes, sir.
So, okay, you from South Philly.
Mm-hmm.
What made you get into art in the first place, Ahmad?
I mean, being in that environment in Philly is much like the boroughs here in New York. Okay. You know, you could either lean one way or lean the other way.
Yeah.
Art, basketball, pretty much just my parents had me in things that just kept me busy all the time.
Right.
And our school system, you picked in a overall like part of your school, so it would be art, it would be law, and art was just always my thing.
Wow.
So just drawing as a kid, I was the kid that was doodling in my notebook. The teacher would call me out for it and tell me to put it away, but that was just always me. So and then with sneakers, it's just like everybody like loves sneakers. I fell in love with sneakers like the minute I saw Iverson and the questions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just over after that. So I mean, growing up, it's like, how can I do what I love and have it earn me money, and just combining those two things together just worked out perfect.
You mentioned staying out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean, and coming here. What makes you uncomfortable at times?
Speaking in public.
Okay.
Speaking in public makes me a little bit uncomfortable. But I heard something Will Smith said on his Instagram not too long ago. He said the best things in life on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
So with me, I'm more of an introverted person, but with this thing that I'm doing right here is gaining a lot of attention. Right. And I know if I wanted to grow to the place that I wanted to be, I got to step outside my comfort zones and try new things and reach out to people and build relationships and connections. So
Right. And you mentioned fear, mentioned being uncomfortable. When I actually seen that, not that I was shocked, but I connected that with, I'm like, he's uncomfortable, but he did enter the military after high school. So I do want to know about that. What made you make that decision after high school?
So, like I said, growing up, it was sports and it was art for me. The way basically that I seen other people get out the hood, it was either going the way I didn't want to go, which was the streets, or it was going to college.
Right.
My family, of course, didn't have the money to go to college, so I was playing football to earn a scholarship. Didn't earn a scholarship, and I was like, all right, well, what's the next best thing?
Right.
Military was paying for school at the time, so that played a big part in that decision.
Was it Navy, Army?
It was the Army National Guard.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. I entered and did not take the test.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But you fell in love. You actually answered my question about the AIs, the questions. You know what I mean? Was he a big part of your life being from? You got a Yankee horn, though.
Okay.
You got a Yankee horn.
Because I gotta represent. I'm here. I always love New York culture, but I mean, growing up in Philly, I mean, it was a point in time where I didn't even know AI wasn't from the city. That's how much love he got in the city.
Wow.
AI was a huge figure. He was out and about in the city. I met him on multiple occasions. He was just that guy in Philadelphia. I mean, from his sneakers to his swag. I mean, everybody knows what he did for the game of basketball and hip hop in general, bringing them both together. So, I mean, AI was huge, a big influence on me.
You mentioned, because, and I could relate to this too when we spoke about this prior to the interview, a lot of sneakers that had artwork got a bad rep. You know what I mean? And they thought they were fake because of the artwork, like guys like you were distributing. Speak on that, and why do you think that is?
I feel like a lot of people, I feel like they just get a bad rap because sneakers in general releases that Nike, Adidas, the big dogs put out, it's not really cartoonish and things like that. When people start doing customs, they do what they feel, they do what they want. They put cartoons on them. They do different things like that, mimic other shoes. Even I'm doing that right now. So they get a bad rap. But I feel like with me, I really take my time. I get into the intricacies of the custom itself.
Right.
I mean, if a panel is one color, I'm going to make sure it's that color through the whole thing. I mean, the edges, everything. I'm very detailed in my work.
Right.
And I just feel like at this point in time, in sneakers, it's like shoes that you're not able to get. Is stuff that you can't have. Even if you want it, even if you have the money, you just won't have that opportunity to get it because of how things are with bots and sneakers app and online shopping.
Right.
So it's just like right now, just making my customs the way I do, like the Chunky Dunkies that I did. They look just like the Chunky Dunky dunks, and I made it that way purposely. And I know if I made them, I had to make them to a point on tee, everything clean, so they look like a premium product.
Right. And you was talking about making something simple and boring, and then and making your own, putting your own vibe and your own swag to it. What are some things that make you cringe, if you could share it? A personal thing what artists is doing right now with sneakers. What's something you disagree with?
I disagree with the drip effect right now. I feel like the whole drip effect is like crazy right now. I disagree with what else? I disagree with a lot of like the off-white copies. I disagree with that a lot.
And why is that?
I just feel like it's not really,
because I'm with you.
It just doesn't. To me, it just doesn't look tasteful. It doesn't look tasteful.
Got it.
I mean, I'm making orders right now where I'm making pretty much. I'm doing a copy, but I'm putting my own spin on it. It's definitely a lot of Rashad's view in it, and it looks different from the original. But it also you can see the similarities. It's basically how I'm approaching it. Is what if this shoe was on an Air Force One, basically, you know? And then I feel like too, a lot of people cut corners and don't go to the amount of detail that I go into the shoe. So,
and Rashad's View is your brand.
Yes.
What came about with the name?
With the name, it was just so Rashad is my middle name. Ahmad Rashad.
Look at that, though.
Like yeah.
Congratulations on that.
So it came about with me just being, a lot of it is with me being introverted. I always knew I wanted to do something with media and stuff like that. So I started a YouTube channel younger. I was playing video games and I was like, I don't want to be like famous. I don't want people to know me and be able to walk up to me and be like, hey, Ahmad, you know, that type of thing. But now I know that's probably what's going to come with it. So when the name came about, it was like, I'm going to go with my middle name so I could tell the difference between people who know me on a personal level as Ahmad and then people who know me from my Instagram and stuff like that as Rashad. Right.
I'm going to ask you two more questions. You mentioned your daughter just being your drive, your motivation ever since she was born. That's your purpose. That's your reason. That's your why.
Definitely.
How old is she?
She is 5.
She's 5. Does she have a idea of what you're doing right now?
She does not have an idea of what I'm doing right now. I definitely got some customs and stuff on the way for her. She's all over the place. One minute she's SpongeBob. 1 minute she's Elmo. So I don't know what theme I want to go with, but she's definitely the biggest influence on me out of everything. I feel like I felt I was mature until she was born.
Wow.
And then once she was born, then I knew I had some maturing to do.
Okay. And speak on that, because I love that a lot. What, detail wise, what are some things that you was like, oh, I gotta get better at this, or gotta get better at that?
Just providing, man. Just providing. I feel like I want my daughter to have all the things in life that I didn't have growing up. I don't want her to worry about the same things I worried about growing up. So just getting her into a neighborhood with a good school, good school systems, a place where she could go outside and feel safe, even though times are crazy right now. Right. It's hard to come by, but just doing my best to give her the life that I feel that she deserves, and that was better than mine. Right.
New Yorkers, we speak on other neighborhoods, you know what I mean? I'm sure other neighborhoods speak on other neighborhoods in the States. What's South Philly like, man? I hear a lot of things, man.
All right, so South Philly is very number block segregated. So in South Philly, the blocks go by numbers. Me growing up, I grew up on 24th Street, so by association, I was a 24th Street person. And if I was on 31st Street or if I was down 5th Street, it would be bad news for me if I didn't have no people with me. So that's the vibe that's going on in Philly right now. But it's also, I don't want to speak on just bad. It's also a lot of good things, like City of Brotherly Love. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a big thing about the city. Definitely some great people there and some great things going on with artists that's coming up out of the city, big time and small. It's just a great place. It's a nice vibe. I got to visit there not too long ago. I went with a couple guys from work, took them up there and got some cheesesteaks from Max's.
I was just about to ask you that. Speak on that, man. Is it all right? Will Smith said this, and you know when he said this in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? One of the episodes. If the grease does not go through the bag, it's not official. Do you agree with that?
That is true. That is true. When I got back from Philly, I took all my homies from Nike. I work for Nike. I took all my homies from Nike to North Philly Max's. And I told them, yo, this is a cheesesteak. When you guys came here without me last, y'all went to Geno's and Pat's, and that's not it. That's like going to 42nd Street, Times Square. Okay. I told them, I made a story, I made an Instagram post. I'm like, look, if the grease is not seeping through the bag, it is not a Philly cheesesteak.
Wow.
It's not a Philly cheesesteak.
Wow. And
so I agree 100%.
Yes, sir. What is working at Nike like, and what has it taught you as an artist?
Working at Nike is amazing. I can't cap. Nike is a great forward-thinking company, and they do a lot within the community. Past the quarantine that just happened, they paid us the entire quarantine. They took care of us. Wow, definitely. And then once we got back, there was a big. We didn't like rush back into work. It was a big thing about things that's going on in the environment culturally, like with Black Lives Matter and everything, presidential elections. So they showed me a lot. Like during that time, they definitely have our back. So Nike is a great company to work for. Right. And what was the second part of the question?
What has it taught you as an artist?
As an artist, it's taught me that I think there's still like room for improvement within the company, though. There's still things that I see that I know there's people that are working for the company that could do that could just give a greater input, basically. Right. Not just myself. There's other people. There's a lot of folks at Nike that do amazing things. And I just feel like there could be a couple more chances for us to, advance ourselves, basically.
So connecting with this, I want to speak on two of your influences, and I'll speak on the other two because it has to do with Nike. I'm gonna go with the first one. You called the GOAT. I'm gonna go with Tinker Hatfield.
Yes, sir.
Talk about him.
Yo, Tinker is amazing, man. To do the first visible air shoe, which is the Nike Air Max 1, to do that, and just how he gets his inspirations. He got the inspiration for that shoe from I think it's called the Pompidou Center. I'm not sure where it is, but it was a glass building that you could see through. Okay. So he was like, that would be amazing if you could see straight through the other side of the shoe and see the air unit and see the visible air. Wow. As we all know, Nike Air Force Ones, they have an air unit in it, but you can't see it. Right. But it's there. Right. So that was the first time that he actually made a visible air shoe. Right. Right.
I mean, if you grabbed an Air Force One, could you detail that and tell me about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on. Let's do this. This is on video. Talk about, what are we looking at right now?
Got you. So the Air Force One, iconic shoe. Honestly, it's super simple. It's not really too much going on with it. Okay. I think the biggest thing is the technology in it. When Nike came out with Air, it changed the game. But the biggest question was with Air was we can't see it though. So right in this portion right here on the Air Force One where it says Air, there's the actual air unit inside the sole right there. Right. Show you guys right here. There's actually an air unit inside of here. Got it. This was a basketball shoe. As we know now, times have changed and technology has gotten better, so this is not used for basketball no more. But it's a staple in hip hop culture. Right. There was a point in time where the Air Force One was just going down. It wasn't as popular as it was. Right. And this was before Nelly put out Air Force Ones. Yeah. Which brought it back was people in Baltimore, little consignment shops that had Air Force Ones. And Nike was about to phase the Air Force One out, and they were able to keep selling colors. And they're phasing them out around the country. And this store in Baltimore is like, hey, we need more pairs. We need more pairs. Wow. So Nike's like, all right, we're going to take care of you guys. We're going to send you pairs. Wow. And then, bam, it just took off. everybody started seeing it. Then it got to Philly, Delaware, that whole area.
Wow.
And then bam, Air Force. And then Nelly made the song, and then bam, Air Force Ones was like just back after that.
So when you, thank you, brother. That's crazy. I did not. So did y'all get that? Where it says air is, what is it called?
Air unit.
The air unit. So where this AIR, where the word air is actually air unit. Look at that. That's education for you guys. We've been wearing Air Force Ones for fucking 30 plus years. We never know that. So I had season 1 for when I was I'm doing a Hoodcenter podcast for basketball. Season 1, I had a guy named who I respect wholeheartedly, Jarrell Harris. He's a Sports Illustrated editor, but he was in charge of the sneaker edition for Sports Illustrated. Like, that was his thing. You know what I mean? And he had interviewed PJ Tucker. Are you a PJ Tucker fan?
Yes, man. Of course, man. PJ Tucker is a sneakerhead through and through. I mean, just the fact that he plays in the shoes that he play in, that are probably, the technology isn't as advanced as the shoes that are out now, but he'll reach in his bag and go back in the day and wear a crazy shoe that hasn't been worn before.
Right. The
colorways that he goes after. And he doesn't get all his shoes from Nike. He searches on eBay and gets them that way too. So I definitely respect PJ Tucker and his love for sneakers.
Yeah, I heard that he walked, Jarrell told me he walked in the store one day and he gave the motherfuckers hell. Y'all ain't got shit in here. Just that, like, he had to, like, that was Jarrell's thing. Like, he had to walk with him through the interview, and he was just like, yo, he's a, you know, people call themselves, like, he's a sneakerhead. You know what I mean? Like, he will walk in there and embarrass you. Like, if your store doesn't have shit.
Definitely.
So that's crazy. I want to speak on somebody else who's important. Dwayne Edwards.
Okay.
Speak on him.
Dwayne Edwards. So this guy, he started his own company now called Pensole. Yeah. He used to make Jordans for Jordan Brand, and also he did Melo's line.
Okay.
He's a black designer. I'm not sure if he's the first one to be on Jordan Brand, but just seeing him and seeing his advancement, that was probably the first person after Tinker that I saw that looks like me, that does what I want to do.
Yeah.
So just following his story and seeing that he's teaching and has his own school where he teaches the design craft and making shoes, he's just a big influence to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I watched probably about an hour before the interview, I had watched Cause, Brian Donnelly, and I was fascinated, man. I learned so much from your answers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen, like, literally him being from Jersey City, and I'm a Bronx native, so when he spoke on that, I was excited.
Yeah.
Him coming over here and just doing the spray painting and actually explaining how much of a risk it is, you know what I mean, to be out in the street and do these things and spray. And it's a risky thing, you know, it's illegal, you know what I mean? So his art is definitely unique. Like, what, from your perspective, Ahmad, what do you take from him? Because you actually explained, like, if I can combine everybody, I'll be set. What do you take from Cause?
So Cause is like, he's just super dope. I think the biggest thing I'm trying to learn and get better at right now is color theory. The way he takes colors and put them together in his paintings and things like that. And then just the way he takes something and transform it into something else, like how he takes Sesame Street characters and then puts his signature skull and bones inside of them. And then the skeleton look that he does, it's different. And then he does things like, there was like this huge floating raft that he had floating around during the Olympic Games that was floating in all the harbors and bays. And he's just different. You know, he thinks of different ways to present his art that's outside the box.
Right.
And definitely, like how I said, I want to get outside my comfort zone. I want to start doing things like that, to where it's like it's different and it's like it has some shock value to it.
I learned so much. Like I said before, I want to keep saying it, and this is really why I do this. You know what I mean? Because I'm digging into other people's crafts, and I don't really know shit about, but I'm learning. Right? Yeah. I did not know a black man was responsible for the Boondocks. Did not know that.
Oh yeah, Aaron Magruder, bro.
I did not know that. Yes, you know what I mean? And that shocked it. Kind of made me upset. That I didn't know that. You know what I mean? But speak on Aaron. I mean, I've definitely read his bio. I'm fascinated. But speak on that and his influence on you.
Definitely, man. I was paying attention to Aaron Magruder when he was in the funnies in the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Wow.
He didn't have the shoe yet. I mean, he didn't have the show yet.
Right.
He just had the comic strips. And I'm looking through the funnies. My mom would bring them to me, and I'm looking through the funnies, and it'd be all these like white cartoons with white characters. And then I see this black cartoon, and he has a fro, nappy hair. His brother has braids, And I'm like, yo, what is this? And then his art style, how he drew the characters was just dope. It was like almost like Japanese anime, but then with hip hop style with it as well. Right. So just seeing that growing up, that was like that, along with like Dragon Ball Z, was like, once I seen that, then all my characters was drawn to like the style that he was drawing, the Boondock character, Raleigh and Huey. And he's just a big influence. And then once he got the show took off. We all know what the show did. Right. It was just crazy.
Last but not least, man, a kid, your daughter's age, he wants to draw, he wants to be an artist, and he's influenced, he wants to be a creative, man. What's the message?
I would say, do it. Just do it. Just like Nike said. I mean, if you have a passion and you're passionate about something, I say just attack it. Don't care about what other people think. I feel like if you're pleasing yourself, then and you're happy with your product, just put it out in the world. You never know what will happen. Just continue to practice, draw every day, and just don't lose the passion for it. And just continue on with it.
Right. Do you ever got in trouble before we get out of here? You ever got in trouble in class for drawing and not doing your work? I think like you have to. Yeah. You're not an official artist if you ain't get in trouble in class. You ever got in trouble?
Definitely. I definitely got in trouble with class. I think one time, if I can name one time, I was drawing a girl to impress her. She was like, "You can't draw." She saw me doodling. "You can't draw me. You can't draw me." So I'm drawing her. And then I get called up to the front of the class. She calls me. She's like, "Ahmad, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm nothing. I'm folding my book. I'm putting it under my desk." And she's like, "Yo, come show it in front of the class." So I'm sitting here, and it's this girl, and it's at a time where like the boys aren't really messing with girls, but I was already on it.
Right.
So I'm up at the front of the class with my drawing of this girl, and then I get teased to no end because I like this girl in the class, and now everybody knows. So
but was you successful? Did you get the number for drawing? Okay, that's all that matters, baby.
We was at recess rocking.
Okay, copy. Yeah, this is a beautiful thing, man. We are gonna go outside. We're gonna set up shop. We're gonna do something special.
Definitely.
And we got everything. We don't even have to go outside and answer no questions, man. We got everything tuned in here. I appreciate this, Ahmad, for real.
Yeah, definitely.
I go by the name of May 3rd, a.k.a. Young Tres de Mayo. You are tuned in the Hoodcenter. My dog Mike's behind the camera, as always. And thank you for this, dog.
Yeah, appreciate you.